Something that a lot of the students that I work with get confused about or kind of fumble with when they're trying to edit or navigate within Studio One or perform certain actions to their audio events or MIDI parts is the smart arrow feature and how to make use of it. So a lot of times the student will want to move, say, a particular event like this one up above, our audio event, and they'll come and they'll do this, but they're actually selecting a range here when they do that. And that's because this bracket is active by default here. And when we hover at the top of an audio event or the top of a MIDI part, we have these crosshairs and our range tool, which is here, is active. But once we cross this center line, that then switches to our arrow tool. So at the bottom half, when we have the arrow tool active, now we can left click hold and move that wherever we'd like. Of course, that's going to snap to our quantized value of quarter note. If we have our snap turned on, we can see that snapping. Although if we hover in the center, we can kind of drop this there like so. So we need to specifically move to the bottom of our audio events or our MIDI parts while the arrow tool is active to move these. And if we were to hover at the top, we then have the range tool. So here, that's a completely different action. If I left click and hold, I select this particular range, all of bar 3, and then I can press delete to delete that out. Let's undo that. I can also hover at the top, select that range, and then come down to the bottom. We switch to the arrow tool. I can left click hold and move this to a different location. Same with our MIDI parts. So maybe I'd like to copy these two notes to a different location in the song. I can select this range, and then I can press Control and C to copy. Position our playback cursor here at bar 6. I'll Control V, and we then make a copy and paste these two notes like so. Let's undo. Now, if I were to right click and let's activate the gain envelope. Now hovering at the top with the range tool, let's select again bar 3. And now when I hover at the top, we have the trim tool that's active, and I can left click hold and pull this down or pull it up to adjust the gain of this selected range of audio. Now, if you'd prefer not to have this smart arrow behavior, which I don't particularly use it and I don't like it because I don't like how it changes as I'm navigating throughout the arrange view, we could just click on this bracket to turn that off. And then now if we have the arrow tool selected, we're going to have that at the top half as well as the bottom half for our audio events and our MIDI parts. If we'd like to use the range tool, I can press 2. We see that that switches. And whether I'm at the top or the bottom, we can then select ranges for our audio events and MIDI parts. And let's press 1 to switch back to the arrow tool. And if we'd like to move that or delete it or copy, we could do that like so. Okay, so I hope that this clarifies the behavior of the smart arrow tool when we have this bracket active. And we'll go ahead and wrap up here. I hope this has been useful, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.